Hey, let's try that. Yeah, I can see. We have a viewer in. It's weird having that big telly there. Two. Right. Welcome back, 3D printing extravaganza. And continuing. This could be a long one today. We'll see how it goes. So, one of the first things we're going to tackle is I'm reading about connections on these 3D printers, in particular pre-tinned wires. Now then, there's a lot of connections on a 3D printer that screw down. You put the wire in, much like a plug, screw the wire down. Now, pre-tinned wires have a tendency to, because the tinning on them softens, eventually they will come loose. And this coming loose has been the cause of more than a few board malfunctions. I don't want to use the word fire, but this is sort of the realms you're getting in. So what we need to do before we proceed any further is to go back. Let me just find, there they are. Is to go back, open up the motherboard and check that all the cables in there are screwed down. And to be honest, we might even unscrew them, take them out, cut the pre-tinning off and screw them back in. That way we eliminate that worry of the soldering, the pre-tinning coming loose, the connections coming loose. And basically, you know, when you get two jump leads and you slightly touch them and they spark, it's that sort of effect. You'll get a tiny little, they'll when they come loose, they'll keep sparking. Obviously, you don't want that. I did get my own. I've got a proper set of electronic screwdrivers, but you may as well use these. So the first thing we need to do is take these off. I think there's one at that end as well, though. Which I don't know whether I can get to because it's under the bed. Well, I hope I can. In fact, we take that one off first. Hi, Mark. Mark Scales Models. Looks like you're the only one in. Well, we'll carry on anyway. It's becoming handy for somebody, I'm sure. Let's pull that slide back. Yeah, we can access it. And it's all a matter of playing it safe. Let's take that one out. Oh, actually the top will come off without a... So you've got, right. All the connections are good there. They're all in. Now it's primarily concerned with these ones here. So let's just see how tight they are. It's actually quite easy to get at, so you might not need to. Yeah, that's tight. Tight. It's a little bit more accessible than I thought. Yeah, tight. Yeah, we're all good, so that's not a problem. All our connections are good. Ribbons in right. I'm assuming that fan's on the right way. Creality 3D, though, they make their own fans as well. Right, let's pop this back in. Now then, that needs to go in there, I believe. There, like that. Yeah, the hot air side is used for removing solder and reflowing joints. How can I give you an example? So I've never actually used one for this, but I know that's what it's used for because I watch a guy in America who owns an electronics store. He repairs a lot of computers and he uses the hot air side to reflow joints. So, for example, when the Xbox 360 had that ring of light, and what people would do is they basically, the solder came away a little bit because the computer board got so hot that the solder melted, and there wasn't enough on there, and it created gaps in where the chip went and that. So what you do is you flow this really hot air over the chip or whatever it is, and it just takes all the solder to melting point and lets it all resettle. And if that makes any sense at all, what they used to do was stick them in an oven. The boards, not the whole computer. They used to stick them in an oven, which is supposed to be a similar effect. Come on. There we're in, I think. And we've got this back one, but I'm not quite sure. There we go. So that's that done out of the way. As it's so accessible, I decided it wasn't worth the hassle of cutting all the I'm sure that goes there, but we'll wait and see. Now then, let's get back on with the assembly. Yeah, if you Google it on or YouTube it even, you'll see what that exactly they use it for, and they literally say they've got a chip that's got to come out. So rather than you flip your board up and there's like, I don't know, say there's 12 legs that got to be removed, rather than go around each individual leg and try and heat that one up, free it, heat the next one up, free it. You come over with this little wand which blows out extremely hot air, and you just sort of wave it over, and it melts everything. They normally put some form of flux on there as well to help, and then the chip just drops out. Saves a lot of time. That would probably have been a better explanation than the first one. It depends. If you're serious about electronics and what you want to do, then yeah, it could be worth investing in one. If you're going to be doing repairs and things like that, then it's a good tool to have. If you're just a hobby and you're more experimenting with things and assembling them, then maybe not worth it so much. I've got no use for one, but I'm just beginning. Whether I have a use for one down the road is another story. I couldn't really answer. It's all down to how serious you want to be about your electronics. Sorry, not really good. Not good enough answer for you, but I think your best bet is to go on and have a look at one in action, see what they use, how they use them, and then think to yourself, is that something that I'm going to do? If you're going to be doing a lot of work with chips, or you're hoping to repair consoles in that manner, then yes, get one. All right, we got the power on. We got the bracket on, but we didn't over tighten it. So then we come to the back. So we're supposed to turn it round now. It's a bit cumbersome when you're building it, but we'll get there. Right, we're at the back. Right, now we need to find, we've got a little, there it is. This, oh, I should have been on there. There we go. Sorry about that. Right. Now, for the bit you missed, I basically took this cover off here, took that screw out, and this screw out. This cover then comes off. It just lifts off. And underneath there's a load of screws down the side on green plugs. I went round, made sure each of them was tight. They all were tight. If you test yours and you come to a screw that's loose, then my suggestion would be to disconnect that wire, just that wire, cut the pre-tinned bit off on the end, and then put the rest of the wire, slot it back in and screw it down. You may need to cut a bit more of the PVC off the cabling if the pre-tinning goes quite a way back, because obviously you need enough to insert into the jack, into the plug. So and then that will stop that from coming loose again. or you can just plug it back in and tighten it up. The decision is yours, right? Where did we get to? Yeah, we were here now. So, by the looks of that, that needs to go on there. Right, okay. And we need 4mm by 18 and the threaded rod. Now, I'm assuming you don't put this cover on the threaded rod. I think that's only there for protection. Right, M4 by 18. There we go, the bag of bits and bobs. There they are. M4 by 18. Now then, when I unwrapped this at the beginning, I said it felt a bit gritty. I've been told that is normal because it's a stepper motor. It's a 40 level stepper motor, I believe, which just means each of them little, you can feel them. It's just a tiny little adjustment that it can make. Right. Now then. I think this is where your ball joint Allen keys come in handy, because obviously we've got this little device here. You can't see it, but it's slightly in the way, this, but you can get in behind it with one of these. If you pick the right one up, that is. And we'll slide this bed out of the way so I can just get a bit more better access. Just nip that up a little bit, and then put the second one in. So this is called the Z motor. It's the stepper motor. It says 42 to 34 on it. I don't know if that's a part number. I love building kits. You know, I loved building. I had a radio controlled, like a nitro car. I loved building that. putting the engine together, and that's amazing fun. Now this, I believe, just drops down into there. Now, does it go all the way down? Yeah, I think it must. Although, I don't know actually. No, it doesn't. That's right, it just sits on that top one. And then we need the smaller one, the smallest one, to nip that up. It's hard. Does that not tighten up? So we have a little problem here. We seem to have a screw that won't screw in very well. It doesn't seem to be. There we go. And just nip that up. Again, you don't want to. There we go. Right. Step 4 is out of the way. So then we come to step 5. Right, step 5. So we're looking for B1E, which looks like the extruder. B1, I'm guessing that's that. Now we've got to figure out which is the back of it. Honestly, that could be, I think that's the back, I think. And I'll tell you, I'm only making that assessment based on the fact that on the drawing there, just there, you can see this cut out here, and on the drawing there you can see the 2 cutouts. So it's sat on the drawing, it's sat like that facing you, and on the other side there isn't any cut out there. So I'm assuming then therefore that this is the back. Now then, this is the extruder. I'm thinking this is right. Something's not quite right. No, something's not right there. Hold on a second. Have I gotten there? We are. That looks more like it. So here is the spring. That's sat like that. We've got that roller there, that motor there, and we've got our switch here. And it's saying that that goes. Now, does it mean like that? I think it means like that. Oh, shit. Apologies, the oh, damn. My apologies. Am I still on? Right. I'm pretty sure that that goes on there like that. So we want M4 by 16, M4 by 16. I'm looking, they're going to be quite long. M5, M5 by 45, 4 by 20. 5 by 8. It's got to be these. Yeah. Always the last one. Always the last packet I'll pick up. And we want 2 of those. There we go. Right. I say 4, 2, 2. Right. Get that back up. Right. And the reason these have got to be at the back is because they sit over that. Is that meant to be loose? That's interesting. That is odd. Right, okay, I see we've got a nut on the other side. Right, did they provide a little spanner? Yes, they did. So it just goes to show, even though it's pre-built, just make sure, go around everything, make sure it's all nipped up tight. That one's okay. And then we're going I'm just going to go over these one at a time just to make sure. Yeah, we've got another one that's loose here. Unless they're meant to be loose until they're slotted in. I don't know, but I've got a smaller one. Just going to check. What one was I going to check? That's got to come out because that's badly damaged. Here. I will get that changed at some point. As soon as I'm certain. Somebody has confirmed which part it is for me, but I just want to double check. I like to double check everything, even though I've been told. And you know, what I'll do is build this up, and then I'll come back to that last. Not that one. Oh, wrong one. Like that. There we go. And I believe it goes there and butts up to that limit switch. Remember that we discussed about what the limit switch does. Just slightly. Just need to get that in the right spot. The head of the screw is just catching on the side of the bar, so it's making it difficult to turn. There we go. I'll just wind that in. Come on then. Go straight in for me. No, really. It's just about there. It should be. It is threaded. There, that's in the hole. I know that. What is going on? Hold on a minute. Right, I see what I've done. Put them in for the wrong bloody side. My apologies. So, it is in the right place. It's just the screws come through from the back. Right. So I had it right in that it goes on there. Let's reposition this now. So this is going to be a bit more awkward to access this time because we're coming in from this back side. Just need to check that it's there and not there. Yeah, that's right. I just need to be certain. Mm-hmm. Now then, do I put this second one in ready, or do I wait until I've got the first one in? Let's wait until I've got the first one in. Right, I'm just going to be, let me put that there, so it's going to be close to work at the moment while there's that limit switch gone. Okay, right. I need, wow, this is going to be a real, unless that's what that hole is for there. If that's true, I'm very grateful because, yeah, oh, they have thought of that. So basically, they've put the two holes there, and somebody's realised at some point that access to screwing them in is going to be a bloody nightmare. And it still is a bit, but ooh, at least you can get access to it. Pop this second one in. And again, so just so you can see, that's where the screw is going. And the two there, with it butting up against this limit switch at the bottom. And of course, to get anything in, the only way you do it is with the Allen key side on. And that would take forever. But fortunately, somebody's had the foresight to drill in two holes in that same position above, so that we can pop the Allen key on the top there, like that, and then just tighten it up. But because you're going through, it's still hard on the thumb. There we go. It's just making that initial thread because it's obviously right. Now then, oh, if we can, now we can come in sideways and just nip it up. Right, so that is step number 5, and as you can see, I'll go back down to here. That's what step number 5 was, and here it is in the flesh. The arm's a different colour there, but it's in the right place. Good to go. Now then, now we're on to step 6, and we've got K2, which is just over there, and these are steel, these are not acrylic. 3 and N. Where is N? That's interesting. Right, they're all little bits and bobs. Is N already on somewhere? Is N? I believe this is N. Yeah, this is it. It's got the fan on, the extruder at the bottom, so it's facing that way. Let me just bring that up again. So it's sitting like that. Okay, so N is going to slide on the back, so we've now got that like so. And this slides on there like that. Excellent. And I'm assuming that then goes on you're saying it goes on like that. No, you're saying it goes on like that. We've got two M4x16s again. We have a hole there, we have a hole there. So yes, we're good to go on that. Right, M4x16. Where did I put you? M4x18. Come on, I know you're around here somewhere. Is that it? M4x16, yes. Now, just as a precaution, again, before I add the screws to tighten this up, I am going to check what they've put together. Spring-loaded washers, in case anyone's wondering, they look a little bit like that. They've normally got a little split in them, and they're there to cause tension between the screw and the thread, so they're less able to vibrate loose. It's not that one. Now then, when it's on backwards, I can't help wonder if that's meant to be like that. That does, let me just see. Yes, I do believe that's meant to be like that. It's a location. They use it as a locating is slightly not loose, but not as tight as all the others. It's not a great spanner. There we go. Not a great spanner by any stretch of the imagination. Right, where's the other one? Right, there we go. That's in step 6. That's all together now. Excellent. Now then we come to step 7, and we've got this funny crocodile type belt. I say crocodile, it's just the crocodile teeth on it I'm thinking of, not it's not actually crocodile shaped or anything like that. Yeah. I believe is that. BE it says on it. There's nothing on this, but I'm assuming that's BE. It's a toothed belt, I believe is the proper term for it. I don't know why I said crocodile. Mind is wandering. Right, so basically it's got teeth on it, so it won't slip. Slipping belts are a bit noisy, to say the least. So basically, we're saying it feeds try and understand what is. So it's like that. Surely that's just going to keep slipping. You see it's going on there. So that goes all the way around, comes out. Goes all the way around there. Hold on a minute, because there's nothing for it to. Right, I see. So it's going along here, like so. I've got it. I think I've got it upside down. Right, let's roll it up as they say to begin with, because this has got to go on the right way. Obviously, you can't just sling it on if the teeth are not the right way round. So it's definitely like that. So it starts like that, and then we're rolling it that way. So when we get to there, the teeth are going to be on the bottom. Like that. Okay. And then that's going to go. Right, so I was right. Thought I was, but self-doubt there for a minute. I'm just feeding that through. And then we come to the there it is, the tooth gear, which it's going to sit around. And you know what? The one thing they haven't given us, which would be handy for this, and being modelers, we're lucky we have them, a pair of tweezers. Because that's going to be difficult to grab hold of with your fingers. There we go. And somehow it has got twisted. And I've pulled it round the wrong way. Okay. Let's see if we can. Right, we're on that. Now we're coming back over the top. Ooh, come on. Okay, there we go. Hold that a sec. Right. Then what happens then? Because there's got to be some way of it clamping. Then it just goes up onto there like so. Now I'm hoping they've measured this just right, because if they haven't, this is going to be very, very difficult. Oh, well, it's long enough, but I think it's probably too long. I've got too much slack there. That's what I think. Way too much, but what's this saying? Why is that showing a close-up of that? I don't know. Right. I have to leave that for the moment because I don't. That to me, that belt looks too long. Let me just show you. There's too much slack in it. Nothing moves that I can see to put tension on it. Unless that's supposed to somehow... It shows a close-up on the instructions of this. So you put the belt on, and then it shows you this wheel for some reason. It's actually pointing to that wheel. At first I thought it was just showing me these, which is how I've got it, but it's actually pointing to that wheel. Now, hold on a minute. It does actually show at the end there is slack. It's longer than the... So, I think we'll leave that as is. I think that's probably going to fit over something else. Yeah, we've got Titan there. I can see we've got Titan. I should have looked at step 8, bloody hell. Right. Okay, so we're on to step 8. Let me just... pull that there. Right. Now then, step 8. We've got a little... is this step. And we have a little cross and X. And it's just about the washers, the correct way they're going on. That's all. Although I would have thought that's pretty self-explanatory with them washers. There's only one way they'll really work. So K1. There you are in there. No, that's the passive block, apparently. That's X. Okay, we'll just hold on a minute while I... That's that. I don't know, I think that's got to be K1. Looks like it to me. Looks very much like it. I'm going to go with that. So that goes on that way. That's wrong, I can see that straight away. I don't know why I picked that one up. Okay. So, right. We now need to position this so that that's there. Yeah, that's up there. And I've got this facing there. Right, I get it. Now then, this goes on. Just push these on. Might need the tweezers with this just to push the washers on the correct way, because they're like a little wedge shape. They need to go on correctly. I think that they're actually probably a little bit right. Let's hold the screw down with my finger. Wow, these are really right. That's one on and two on, and one's had to come back out. There we go. Now then, we just need to make sure everything's right. Make sure both them are okay. And then tighten these up. Yeah, I can feel the motor now on there. Excellent. So that's step 8 done. Step 9 is to finally get this don't tighten too much, I think that says. Don't tighten it too tight. and it is referring to where this lead screw will go. We will see in a minute. Right. So step 9, we don't actually need any other pieces. We just need well, that's lucky. I thought there for a minute I was missing a piece. No, and I just need to position this right again. So now we're going from the front, and the front's reversed to me. So now it needs to be moved around again so that I'm in the right position. Oh, dear. Right. Now then, if that's the front, we've got the extruder pointing down. I believe, yeah. Pointing down and on this side towards the front. That's that. That's that. Right, excellent. So I think it must slot up through. Okay, there's a reason they were loose earlier on. Because you've got to let them turn, I think. Need to get that in there somehow. Why won't that screw down on there? Sorry you're unable to see this at the moment, but I'm having problems getting the lead screw on. Sorry, I'm going to have to. I don't. That is not a clean thread. It's struggling to. Let me see if I can take that off and then thread it another way. Right, let's try that. It's much looser now. If I put this in upside down, is there a special way this goes? That's not. If that was the case, right. Let's see if it'll go in from the top. Both ends are chamfered, so oh, look at that, screws in wonderfully from the top. Right, so I don't know why that played up like that. Let's just guide this very carefully, because this is suddenly going to pop on and travel down. Come on. There we go. There we go. Right. Let's tighten that back up. There we go. So we screwed in from the top this time. You can't see it. Unfortunately, got such a little space to work with. But let me see if I can get it there. So I had to screw the threaded rod in, which you can just about see here from the top. Screw it down into this at the bottom here. You can just see my finger at the bottom tapping it, and position it. And now it's working fine. Let's just bring that down about halfway. Excellent. So that's basically step 9. Step 10 is to put the top on and the end caps, and then it will be all. So the top's going to go on like so, and we're looking for M5 by 25. The M5. There are washers already on these as well. They really have excelled themselves, Creality, in what they've done to make sure this is as easy build as possible. I really can't recommend them enough at this stage. So I'm just screwing the top bar on. I don't know whether you can really see anything. No. My back's starting to hurt, unfortunately, and my leg, but really wanted to get as much of this done as possible. Looking for the 2 nuts, and I've already put them in. Right, we need to go around and tighten that where this threaded thing comes into here. We need to tighten those up while I remember. Yeah, that's just saying that. Now we've got the profile covers, they're called. And they're basically just going to go over you get these on everything, chairs, computers, all sorts of things. Profile covers, they just hide nuts, bolts, and make things generally look tidier than they would without. Some people call them end caps. There we go. So that's the top bar on. Now all we've got to put on is the rail, the little bit of kit that holds the spool of PLA on. So we want R2, which I'm thinking is that. I'm not certain though. R1, which I'm sure is that. And then we've got a couple of we've got a spare nozzle set there, which I think we're going to have to use. Because that replaces that part which was not very good. Now that's a bit silly. I'll just double check first because I've been proven wrong before. So that's just going to go on there with that going over there like so. And then that holds your spool on. And this just goes on the other side. Now then, they're saying 2 M5x8s with T-nuts. M5 T-nut, which is great, I guess, but unless I'm mistaken, these are going to be a bit of pain to put on because we've already put these screws on the top and the end caps on. So I would normally slide these in from the end. Right, bear with me a second because I have to just check this out. My back is hurting. I think I'm going to have to stop in a minute, unfortunately. I am so close to finishing. Now then, do I have this at the back or the front? The back. Right, almost there. Sorry, it's not been a very exciting video, but well, it is what it is. It's the building of a 3D printer. I have tried to be as involved as I can. But I think it's sort of reached a stage now where the pain in my back's quite bad, so I'm going to stop. But it is together. So we can consider we've basically got just the wires to connect. Yeah, so basically it's literally connecting the wires, which I can do later on my own. You see, it's just that. And then it's done. So I mean, it's a bit difficult to see it because it's so bloody big. But actually, it's not that big when you consider how big I thought it was going to be. So sort of that size. We'll get all the wires connected up later, and then the next video will be starting it up. It will be the starting up of it. I guess the next thing's going to be testing the bed and leveling it. I guess I'm not exactly sure, but that's where we're at. So I've got a sore throat as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a bit slow in parts, and hands were off the screen and everything. But hopefully it's going to pick up now when we start playing with it, basically. So I will catch you all on the next one, which hopefully will be very soon. Until then, goodbye. I will be on an offline hangout tonight, Friday. Don't forget Smooth Show tomorrow. Saturday night goes live at I've got a T in my head there. It goes live. Hello at 8 o'clock, I believe. No, 9 o'clock. Chat starts from 8:30, I think. Anyway, yeah. So see you all then. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. Now you've got to wait while I figure out where my arrow's gone, because I'm working on 2 screens. There it is. Now I come over to my other one, and now I'm definitely going. Bye.